We're talking about meeting this year at Planting Roots, and last week, if you joined us, we talked about Jesus and the disciples and them meeting together, and the fact that they had these opportunities for 3 years to live together, to do life together, much like we have a duty assignment. They were together, and it was almost more in the sense of a deployment, because it was who they had. They didn't go to their own homes. They didn't go in their own vehicles. Where they went, they walked together. Where they ate together. They were together for 3 years. And it's interesting to me in this meeting together that Jesus did with his disciples. First, he found them in the strangest of places, as we talked about last week. But second, he knew, because he's Jesus, he knew that there were some of them who would betray him, who would deny him. He knew it when he called them. He knew when he said, hey, come follow me and I will make you fishers of people. He knew that they would do that, and yet he brought them into that circle of friendship, that circle of relationship, where they built these bonds together over time, and he invested in them, and he poured into them, and he loved them, even when he knew they weren't going to do the right thing. And it's an interesting thing for us, especially as military women and wives, when we go to duty stations. We're there for, or deployed, we're there for 6 months, a year, a couple of years, maybe 3 or 4 years. And sometimes investing in those places or meeting together with people, we can get weary of it, but we can also be hesitant because, well, are they going to care for me in return? Are they going to invest in me as well? Are they going to be the friend that I long for them to be, the confidant that I long for them to be? Because sometimes we've had experiences where it wasn't that, where people that we have trusted, people that we have poured into, have not reciprocated that in the way that we expected. So I want to encourage you today, as Jesus did, to walk with them anyway. There are people who are put into our lives for us to learn and to grow, and these are not those abusive relationships, I promise, but sometimes when we get to these new places, we hesitate to meet together. We hesitate to find that group where we grow together, where we keep each other accountable, where we encourage each other because of what we've experienced previously. And I want you to have the courage, I want us to have the courage to step into those places again. Jesus, he actually, in their time that together in John chapter 14, he was talking to them and letting them know, hey, I'm headed out. I will not leave you alone. Where I go, someday you will go. This whole conversation of preparing them for what was inevitably to come very soon to them. But in John chapter 14, verse 1, he told them, he's like, don't let your heart be troubled. Believe in God, believe it also in me. And then he talks about the rooms and the mansion, and that they know the way where he is going. And then Jesus tells them, I am the way, the truth, and the life, in verse 6. No one comes to the Father except through me. And so he is preparing them for what is next. It's different with Jesus, I get that, because he knows what's next. He is in control of those things. Our salvation is dependent upon him. He brings us eventually into full reconciliation and eternity with God the Father. So it is different with Jesus, but with these people that are in our worlds, with the people that we interact with, it is vital that we meet together with them. It's vital that we do life with other Christians in the place where we are. It's also important sometimes to keep those relationships that we have from a distance that we had previously. But if you're in a season that is weary, or a place where you're lonely, I encourage you to try again, to go out, to keep your eyes open. As we talked about last week, that Jesus found some of these disciples in the strangest of places, and you never know when God is going to put those people in your world that he wants you to invest in, and for them to invest in you. Regardless of what the outcome looks like, those people make an impact on our life, and we can do the same for them. And at the end of the day, it is exactly as Jesus said, trust in me. trust me with this, because I have called you to community and I will walk with you in that. So my question for you today is, who do you do life with, where you are? Who are those special people in the place where you are today? And if you don't know, if you don't have an answer, I would encourage you to pray about that and say, what is it that you have for me? With that, I will see you next week right here on Tuesday on our SEEDS devotional on our YouTube channel. Have a great week.